Alright guys, welcome to your, what number is this, 6th tutorial I think, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to create the main window that's going to hold the game. Because right now all we did is we pretty much started working on the inner screen of the game, but in order to create that window, a window with minimize, maximize, X, and just a typical window that you see all the time on Windows. That's what we need to build now. So go ahead and we actually do this in your main method. So the very first thing we need to do is create an object called an app game container, which is really a neat name. I like that name. And this is basically the window for your game that your game is going to go inside. So let's go ahead and give this object name app game container. You see how I came up with that? And what we need to do after this is all of the code, like to set the, I don't know, screen size, or excuse me, window size, and to start the window, all of this needs to be in a try catch statement. So let me go ahead and build the shell for that first. Try catch, and I always build my try catches and I get the catch out of the way first because that's the boring part, the part that we don't want to happen. Slick exception, which is Slick's basically custom error handling. E, and anytime that we get an exception, which hopefully we don't, we'll just go ahead and have that E print stack trace. There we go. How convenient is that? So basically, did I spell something around there? Oh, I just got to type some crap into the try, of course. So now that we have our try catch statement set up, the very first thing that we need to do is we need to actually create that window. So now we just, said we're going to be working with it. In order to create it, put app, or whatever your object name is, equals new app game container. There we go. That's a little bit better if you spell it right. Now what this does is it actually takes this main class is a parameter, an object of this class. So new game, and we're going to say game name, right like that. So what the heck is this line for, and why do we need it? Well, we're going to say we're going to be creating a window that's going to hold a computer game. What computer game is it going to hold? Well, this new game that we're making right now, which happens to be probably the best game ever, Hand Blaster. So again, whenever you make a window, Slick wants you to put it in something called app game container, so we don't complain. We just say, okay, that's what we're going to do. So now that it made us, make that container, we now have the power of adjusting it. So the very first thing we want to do is set the size of the window. Do you want it full screen? Do you want it 1000 by 1000? Well, let's go ahead and do that right now. App gc dot set display mode, and the display mode is pretty much the size of it. It takes 3 arguments. The first 2 arguments are length and width, which is 640, and I'll just make this a small one for demonstration. 360. Whenever you make a real one, you may want it like 1500 by 1000 or something, but since I'm filming this on YouTube, I want it small enough so you guys can see. And this last one is false. This last one is actually, I wonder if it'll pop up right here. Oh no, it doesn't tell you the parameters. But this last one is actually, if you want it full screen, then it's not going to be false. We don't want this full screen. We only want it small, so false it is. So the last thing that we need to do in terms of creating the window is we actually need to start the window, or pretty much create it on the screen. Now in order to do this, app GC, which is basically the window itself, start, right like that, with empty parameters. So to recap one last time, anytime that we want to make a window that's going to hold our game, we need to put it in the main method. Now the first thing we do is create an object, and then we create a try catch statement because that's what Slick recommends. Now in order to create the window itself, say what game you're going to be putting inside the window, how big's the window going to be, and start basically just creates it basically. So that is how you create a window, and guys, check it out. We are actually done with this class, for now at least. But Oh man, before we have to create or before we can test this out, we got a couple errors which says, you know what? You told me that you had two states. You told me that you had a main menu and a play screen. And you know what, Bucky? You didn't. You freaking lied to me. So I guess, if we don't want Eclipse to get mad at us and the Java gods, that's what we have to do in the next video. We're going to be creating the main menu and the play classes. So, guys, it's going to be awesome, and I'll see you guys then.